Welcome to the Real Salty Podcast. Please join Stephanie and Caitlin as we dive into life in Florida, the good, the salty, and everything in between. We'll chat about real estate, family, sports, building a community, and all the unique things that make living in the Sunshine State so special. Plus, we'll bring on some amazing special guests to share their stories and expertise along the way. So grab your favorite drink and get ready to laugh, learn, and get a little salty with us.
Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of the Real Salty Podcast. We're so happy you're with us. Happy Halloween.
Happy after Halloween. The week before
It's
Halloween is like crazy because I've got two kids' birthdays. Cooper turned 21 yesterday. Cheers to Cooper.
Cheers to Cooper.
Yes. Cheers to Cooper. Michael sent us a picture of him having a beer, and
In public.
And he said his first beer. And Brody wrote back for today, and I said, for this hour, what are we? Let's get realistic, people. Come on, yeah.
Hey, you know what? Legally, first beer. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. So that Flynn's birthday is this week too, so it's always the craziest week for me. But yeah, I switched the lighting. I was last week like a satin finish where I was like, my grandmother would be offended. I needed to pull out like a powder, and where I want to be a matte finish on camera. Now I was like a satin finish. I was like, how many lights do I need on me? So hopefully this will turn out a little bit better, because I'm telling you, I was every reel I watched, I was like, no. So
you know what though? I did not watch them and think, God, her paint finish is off this week. But I'm happy for you that you figured it out.
Yeah, I don't want to be a flat finish, but like like a matte. Like a matte.
You know what? I can't keep up with the kids today. First shiny's cool, then it's not cool, and then it's cool, and it's like everyone's shiny and everyone's
all about
dewy
the lighting
and glossy and all the things.
All of that.
I don't know. I don't know what we're doing, but I'm happy that you figured out what you
wanted to do. I feel like it might be. We'll see when we go to edit this, but yeah.
Right.
So
well, the one thing I want to mention too is you definitely had to play with your lighting, because the good people will probably notice, if you're watching the video and not just the audio, it's dark outside. It's dark outside. I thought we were going to do away with this daylight savings time bullshit.
No.
I mean,
they said on the Today Show, what is this, a semi-annual conversation that we keep having and no one can make a decision, or what? I don't know.
It's like Groundhog's Day. What are we doing, people? Like, come on. Everyone's just like, I'm going to do it. Okay, do it. Somebody needs to do it. Right?
Exactly.
Oh, gosh. We are currently recording right now on Monday, November 3rd, and it is 6:11. And daylight savings time definitely occurred yesterday. And you know what I did look up, though, that maybe this will make us feel a little bit better. So we're currently right now, I think the sunset time for us in the Eastern Standard Time is 5:45 in Tampa, around that time, 5:44.
That's right.
And unfortunately, even the people in Panama City are dealing with about 40 minutes. It looked like 4:59 maybe, or around then was their sunset. So their Central Standard Time. Right. So I just tell myself that it could be worse. No offense to my friends and family in the Midwest. Love you so much. But it could be freaking cold, and it could get dark even earlier.
It could. No, it could be definitely worse. And I'll tell you that I did not mind getting that extra hour of sleep, as they call it. Well, I'll say two things. First of all, no one of the current generation that is like, I don't know, 15 years to our young understands how we had to set the clocks back. Their clocks just automatically change because no one uses a clock anymore. They use their phone. So that's the first thing I'll say. Well, they don't understand it. They just don't even understand it. The two employees that I had on Sunday didn't even know that the clocks changed. So whatever, it's fine.
Because their phone does it for them. I totally understand that. I will say this though, we just had our whole house remodeled, brand new appliances because of the hurricanes last year. Thank you very much. And guess what? More than half of my brand new Samsung appliances did not change their clocks. So they're not that smart, people.
No, they're not. Yeah, I don't know what they mean when they say a smart appliance. Come on, figure it out.
I don't know.
I don't know what they mean.
It's not like I work my oven with my phone, really, but I expected it. I have a digital analog alarm clock. Okay. It's literally the red serial killer numbers.
You use that still?
Just listen. I bought it in 2004. It went to my freshman college dorm, and it was a big deal because it said it automatically changes itself
Oh,
for daylight savings time. And guess what? It's
it don't.
21 years old and it still does. So
Oh,
whatever
that's why
technology
you
is in
use
this
it.
crap Walmart did well, the real reason, this is so like things we say now, the real reason I use it versus just a normal like Alexa display
Yeah.
clock is because it has this Batman signal that projects the time on my ceiling. So my lazy ass doesn't have to lean over to look at the clock. I can just open my eyes and look up and I know what time it is. It is the best invention. I have no less than 7 Alexas and like smart lights and everything's controlled by her and
But you
everything. And
like
that
your
still,
2005.
my 21-year-old analog digital alarm clock, God bless it, because, and it changed,
Oh,
but my
Caitlin.
Samsung oven didn't. So riddle me that.
I don't I don't know what smart appliance actually means anymore then, right? I mean, that's got to
It's
be
all a lie as
should be
far as I'm
baked into
concerned.
it. Well,
I
what I
will
was
say
saying, and
this.
then my second thing that I was excited about
Yes.
with the
Yes.
is because it gave me an extra hour since yet again another World Series game had to go into extra innings. So although it was a best of four series, technically they played 8 games because one of the games went 18 innings. So
My
yeah,
God.
so they had 7 games, and of course the last game went extra innings, and they had the starter. The Dodgers had the starter pitcher come in to because there actually just was no one else when it comes down to it. And as soon as he came in, I was like, "This,
We're out of
it's
people.
yeah, yeah." The Jays are, the Blue Jays are just going to have a hard time now because he's just so light. And he ended up getting MVP, rightfully deserved. He pitched 3 times in the World Series alone. So rightfully so. It's nice to see a pitcher. But yeah, so I was up late after a fun day of golfing the day before, right? A fun day.
Yes.
Um, yeah, that is
Yeah.
not a hot dog truck, sister. That is a vodka truck.
I forgot about that. So on
I was
Halloween,
convinced.
yeah, you were. Stephanie and I
Hmm.
played hooky a little bit, and we
We
actually
did.
participated in the Pinellas Beaches Chamber annual Halloween golf tournament. Blah blah blah. Um, so,
Right.
and it was actually at the Seminole Country Club, which is
It's in
right
my
across the street from
subdivision. Yes.
Stephanie's house in her subdivision, which was really convenient.
Yeah.
And she golfs there occasionally with
Or
her
a
father.
disaster, whichever way you want to look at it.
I think it was a success. I mean, the odds were maybe in our favor, but we definitely played them well, I think. Because speaking of baseball, we figured out that we're not half bad together with
No.
golf.
No. You have to
And
put us both
we,
together, but whatever.
yeah, no, because here's the deal, it was scramble style. I feel like I was the starter, you were the closer. They actually were insane and made us play 18 holes. Like, what? Maybe we didn't read all the fine print before we partook. I don't know, but it's just,
I think I was kicking and screaming at the beginning of that situation. And then when the hot dog
she
lady
told
went
me,
by,
yeah. So then there's, we're throughout the carts. A couple of the holes were sponsored, so you have some girls there that have some drinks or some libations, if you will, and raffle tickets or whatever, not for different charities. And there was a cart that actually belongs to the country club, and
yes.
Stephanie made a comment and was like, "Oh, it's just hot dogs." And this girl rose up,
Oh, no.
no, full
It was
bar,
not hot
uh,
dogs.
snickety snacks galore. I didn't see any hot dogs, but
It was not hot dogs.
in your defense, they had hot dogs hand painted vintage style on the sliding glass of the surf cart part.
They did. Every time I've seen
Yeah.
it go by in my subdivision, I'm like, oh, the hot dog cart's going. And now I
Well,
have a different attitude about
yeah.
that. But I
It
will
won't
say that,
be
yeah, I got to
it won't
drive
be there
once.
goes the hot dog cart. Yeah, you
Yeah.
did. I commented
Yeah.
that. It'll be, hey lady. No, it's kidding.
Will be. It'll be me running after it. Me running
It's like
after
the
it,
ice
going,
cream
get
truck
back
down
your
the
hot
street,
dog
right?
cart.
Just tell her to play a song. It'll make it more convenient for everybody. But no, Stephanie's absolutely right. So I got a little taste of the golf cart driving, and I did not relinquish the wheel for the
No,
rest
you
of the
didn't.
game.
I got to drive. Believe me, I did not care. So preface it by saying that, but I was like,
You drove to the
okay, I'll
first hole.
drove. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, Caitlin was like, I'm an expert. I got this. And I was like, I am okay being like passenger princess with this one. That is for sure.
Okay. I didn't automatically get to I'd like to thank me. I offered her chances to drive a couple times, and then I was just like, yeah, no, this is mine. Plus,
No,
you know what? She's got one in her house. She can drive it whenever she wants. Some of us
I
don't
can't.
have a golf cart. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm
Although
and
I
I'm
think I
really
threw you.
not gonna work on getting a GUI, that's for sure, because that would have been
No,
like
no, that's
golfing under the influence would have definitely happened. So
we
we'll
can
stay away
literally just
from
hitch a
that.
ride home with the hot dog girl. We don't got to drive your own golf cart.
I'm pretty I gave her enough business, so
Yeah, you know what? We did good that day. I feel like we held our own. It was definitely our first
it was
time.
a fun
We will
day.
definitely be back. I hope everyone else is excited about us being back as we are, but
Yep.
I feel like we
And
did
shout
good.
out
We
to
held
Bob
our
and
own.
Dave because they were really amazing to us. We were scared for whoever got paired with us as we
Yes.
had
Yeah,
not golfed in quite some time, and we weren't sure
like
how
we do.
like we do, and we weren't sure who we were going to get paired with, and we felt bad for. But they we had fun. We had a lot of
They
fun.
were amazing. They were
They
2
were
of the most
great.
patient men, and you know what? They were funny. I feel like Bob carried the team. Shout out Bob. Every time we teed off, I was like, "Damn, Bob." But then
You did
Dave,
say
shout out
that.
to Dave because actually, I don't think after hole 3 we used your clubs at all. He
No, I don't think
literally
so
just
either.
gave us whatever the appropriate club was for the hole because again, we play golf occasionally, so we might know what some of them are called.
Maybe.
And
No,
it's
I
definitely
well
not the
after he kept hearing me go, "What club number do we need?" Because I had
he goes,
zero
just
clue.
use this.
And so he was
Yeah.
just like, just take it. We're
Just use it.
all like, we're just take it. It actually will be quicker and easier because meanwhile, Bob is already by where his ball is while we're still trying to figure out which club to use. So
You know, but at the same time, I think what probably did it was the fact that I called the driver "big booty ho, up booty," and like that might have done it. Or
forgot
like I
about that.
like big butts, and I cannot lie. Again,
Yeah, halfway
2
through
of
the
the most
game, you ended up becoming the DJ somehow. And we were having a dance
they
party at
loved it.
almost
I
every
offered
single
I offered to
hole
turn
there.
it down every time we were going to hit, and they were like, "No, crank it up." So I did
How about
good.
the lady that like got her house hit and she's like, it's
Oh my
like,
god, I totally
you
forgot
live
about that.
literally on the golf course. Like,
Well,
what
then
else
she
did you
kind
think
of
was gonna
yelled at us for
happen?
a while, and I'm like, "What is she gonna do? Is she gonna come out here? Like, what is she gonna do?" And so, I don't know. I feel like they weren't worried about it. I was worried about it, and you're like, "Don't. That's why you live on a golf course."
Yes.
Like,
Yes. That
no
was
one else was
absolutely
worried
part of the
about it.
decision making when we purchased a house. There was one house that we really liked that was in the same subdivision, but did back up to the golf course. And we deemed it as you all do, like you start calling houses certain names so that you remember which house it is, especially when you're looking at 20
Yes,
houses in one day. And this
correct.
specific house, we had 3 dogs at the time and we were called it the howling dog house because we knew the only thing that our dogs would do was howl at all of the golfers. So we were like, we can't live on, we literally cannot live right on the golf course. We have to live, we want to live
You
in the subdivision, but we cannot live right on the golf course.
you
So
guys would have to remove the vocal cords of your dogs, like that one dog in that Adam Sandler movie
we
where they
would.
take the vocal cords out due to the neighborhood
Yes.
sue. Like the
Oh,
neighborhood
I forgot
sued
about
them
that.
and demanded that the surgery be performed. So the dog like whisper barks.
So well, when we first moved here, my dogs got put on house arrest because one of my 2 white dogs, just like it did with you, likes to take a quick
Yeah.
nip,
I was,
just like a puppy nip,
well,
right? Yeah. So
yes.
we got put on house arrest by the Pinellas Animal Shelter, but that's fine. That's neither here nor there.
Okay. Yeah, no, I feel like he was
My
just
dogs
so
are
excited to
gangster.
see me when I walked into your house that he just was like, "Look at me," and like kind
Yes.
of. But
Why aren't you
but I
paying
told
attention to
you,
me?
but I told you when I was there, I don't give a shit if he does that to me. I just
Just
cared
don't
about
ruin
my
my
brand new
pants.
golf pants that I literally just bought for this one 10-year event,
Do not
and
ruin the fit.
I'm
Whatever
like,
you want
look,
to do, don't
yeah,
ruin the fit.
I bought this golf shit specifically from the golf section of Dick's Sporting Goods. Okay. Like, spare no expense. I'm playing the part. This is a facade. Come on. Like, but at the same time, I remember
Don't
telling
ruin
you,
the fit.
I don't touch my fit. Right. And so was it Tom or was it Huck? Which one was the
Who
offender?
knows? I think it was Hawk. Usually is.
Okay. So Huck just looked at me like, what are you going to do about it? And what's funny is that Stephanie's like, oh, sorry about that. And I was like, you know what? It's fine because my dog, he's 16 now, so he's definitely calmed down a little bit, but he was a fireball too. And so he was very protective of his territory. And we affectionately call those at my house teethy kisses.
That is so
Those are
kind.
teethy kisses. Oh, they're teethy kisses.
That is so
So
kind.
well, here's a problem. He weighs 8 pounds, so if he was a bigger dog, we'd be in trouble.
It would be in
But,
big trouble. That's right.
but
That's
right now,
right.
it just looks like a baby Ewok that tried to bite you. So it's cute.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well,
Yeah.
I have to mention this as
Yes.
I'd hate to be a Debbie Downer for a second, but I do need to do a quick toast because a week and a half
Okay.
ago we let a reel go out about my dear seller Ray being a
Yes.
Swiftie, and
Yes.
Caitlin, because Caitlin is adorable in every which way, said protect him at all costs, and his time wore out. So unfortunately, Ray took a quick turn for the worse a couple days after our episode. Yeah, after our, I did show him the reel. I did show him, and he, well, that is great. That is great. And he took a quick turn for the worse. And at 98 years old, at some point, your heart is going to stop working. I mean, it just is.
Yeah.
And so, Seafood Festival weekend, Saturday night, I was in the hospital room with him, and he didn't really recover from that. So,
Yeah.
cheers. And I knew that's when he passed
Cheers
away,
to
I knew
Ray.
that meant the Dodgers were going to win because he couldn't watch it again. As he said, I bet on those Brooklyn Dodgers so much that I hate them. So, because he
Brooklyn
remembers when it was the Brooklyn
Dodgers.
Dodgers, exactly. So,
God bless
cheers
him.
to
You know
you,
what?
Ray, and good
Here's
life
to
well
Ray.
had.
And I hope that you meet a lot of nice girls up in heaven that like to
I
go
do
to the
too.
ball game. There you
I
go.
think he met a lot of nice girls when he went to the ball games before, and that got him in a
Okay.
little bit of trouble.
Okay, well, I mean, he
As I heard quite a
you
few of
can't
those
even say
stories.
he was here for a good time, not a long time. He had a good time for a long
And a
time.
long time. That's right.
We
That's
should
right.
we should all be so lucky, but no, he was a
We
beautiful
should.
individual. I love the friendship that you struck up with him. It
Mm,
started purely from real estate business, and this is a
it
people business.
yeah,
And you know what? He was a beautiful soul, and
he
shout out to
was.
Ray.
Yeah,
And
shout out to
thank
Ray.
God, you know what? When God decided it was his time, he didn't have to suffer long.
No, he did it. He really didn't. He really didn't. And he was surprised that it was the heart that got him. And I said, well, he couldn't hear because his hearing aids had not been charged. So I had to whiteboard everything. And he said, I just didn't know that it was going to be my heart. And I wrote him back, I think it's been ticking a long time at this point, Ray. So cheers to him, like I said. So, and Debbie Downer stage, it was a life well lived, right? So,
You know what though? It is sad, of course, with the passing of any kind of beautiful human being. But at the same time, I'm so happy that you actually got to meet him because
me
what are the
too.
chances, right? What are the chances?
Yeah.
And then
Well, there's so many different things that are parallel with us, and I think that if you can get to know most people in this world,
you'd be
even
surprised
you'd be
how many
surprised at how
similarities you have.
parallel they were. Yeah, I mean, his name was Ray, and that is a family name on my father's side. It is a long-lived family name, and then his middle name was Eugene, and that's Michael's father's name. And so, and he lived in Chicago. He went to Cubs games, and he lived in St. Louis. Like, I mean, he just it's
Jesus.
just a, and then he was a Red Sox fan, and so we had it's just a life. Yeah, I feel very lucky to have had him in my life for the time that I did. And yeah, so
Yeah,
but
yeah. Shout out
anyway,
to Ray.
shout
And I
out
was
to
gonna say
Ray. And
we will make sure to play something this weekend for him. That'll be a good one.
yeah,
So
for
the
sure.
golf tournament, I will be amiss if we move on without mentioning. Shout out to the Caddies girls.
Oh
Okay.
gosh, you are
Shout
so
out to the
right.
Caddies girl. because seriously, the main tent before we got started, they had a beautiful lunch. And again, shout out to Caddies, not only the lovely girls that were working the booth and table there and all the other staff that donated their time for us to have
Yes,
a good time on
they
that
did.
day.
They did,
But
yeah.
they donate all the food and beverage, all the alcohol for free. They
All
donate
of it.
everything. And so there was a couple girls that were working the tent specifically where we took off from, and
Yes.
they were lovely. And they were
They
like a
were so
compilation
nice.
of a couple different Caddies locations, whether it be Scully's in Johns Pass or Sunset Beach. I remember one of the women was talking about she can't wait to
Yeah,
get
one of
back
them
there.
to Madeira
Um,
Beach, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
they're
so
all
I
I
just
mean,
want
they're just all moved in different directions. They're not at the location. Well, one of them was, but they're both the two of the other ones are not at the location that they want to be at, but they will get there as soon as those get
yeah.
regrouped. And yeah, they were amazing.
Well,
And we didn't even make it to the dinner afterward. I saw a couple of pictures of the spread and I was like,
that spread was
um,
impressive, and actually, our stomachs probably could have used that dinner. But at the same
yeah.
time,
Yeah,
you
I'm pretty sure that's
had
true.
a marathon of trick or treating to
Yeah.
get to,
Yeah.
and I had to get home to John's Pass before the sunset because
Yes. Yes.
I
Just
turned
because.
into something. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, you can't go across the bridge once the
something
sun
bad
sets.
happens,
No, I
right? It's like a
know. That
gremlin.
well, we didn't know what to expect, right? We didn't know, and I think that
No, we
by the
did
end
it.
of it,
Yeah.
we were just like, we are so in. We are like full blown in at this point.
Well, again, 18 holes, like you're lucky we Irish goodbye. Although, shout out to the lovely people that brought me my cup because apparently we drove off without her. So,
Oh,
anyway, she was
well,
on the
God
top of
only
my car.
knows. Well, oh,
Yeah.
we'll find out
And
what
they
else we
found it.
drove off with.
And the good news is it literally says Century 21 and it says Caitlin right here on
Oh,
it. So they were like,
I,
oh, gee, I wonder who this belongs to. And because you live right across the street from the entrance, they saw my rig parked out front, dropping you off. And they were just like, oh, there she is. Found her. Like, thank God. So, anyway. All right. So we talked about our Halloween debauchery. There's a couple things actually that we wanted to talk about. And Stephanie and I have been talking a long time about doing segments in this podcast.
yeah,
And I don't know if this is going to turn into a segment, but when we were pre recording chatting, I like the way this sounds. So let's go ahead and actually act like we're going to make this an official segment.
yes,
So, this part of this show, we want to talk about what we're going to call Word on the Beach, bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
that's right.
So, word on the
Exactly.
street, word on the beach. So, some of the things we want to talk about, you actually saw something online about Dockside Dave's here in Madeira Beach.
Well, actually, so we went over to where did we go? We were at Ricky T's last Wednesday.
Was that
They
their
do
grand opening?
no, they've been open and the back
That
of
would,
their shirts actually says we're back bitches. It's so fun and
why don't we have one of those? Number one. And number
so
two,
cool.
I was wrong. Jimmy B's grand opening was this
Yes,
week.
and the Beachcomber, they opened, yeah, this past I heard some great things about just everything with there, but that wasn't necessarily the conversation we were so we went to Ricky T's on Wednesday. They do prime rib on Wednesday. And so Michael is
Be
an
right there.
advocate fan of prime rib, so we went and had the prime rib and they're you know as I talked about before, and it's just so important. Like the beaches just do a good job for the most part of making sure that they're taking care of their people when they come in. I mean, there's going to be some hit or misses just based on what might be going on, but we're just Michael and I just love going to the beaches when it comes to where we're going to spend our
Well,
money,
it's
whether it's a
the
bar or it's
service.
a restaurant, right? And it's the service that we're looking for. And we want the service that we always aspire to give and hopefully give at our own
At your
business.
shop.
And so
Yep.
we got there and the one woman that normally is there had subbed out of her shift and there was another guy there and he actually has a very active role over at Dockside Dave's and so he mentioned
Mm,
to us that I've been waiting for permits over at Dockside Dave's and of course immediately I'm like wait what like that's just I need to find out kind of the 411 on this so
yeah.
apparently they
Yeah. Yeah.
had
Good job
like
interjecting. Good
it's
job.
I know,
Sorry.
I was like, wait, this conversation isn't over. Can you please
Ding.
come back over here so we can keep talking? Because go serve your people, but no, you need to come back." So
Yeah.
so apparently a couple days prior to Helene, they had submitted permits to do some additional work on that
Anyway?
upstairs area. Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
Halloween? Shut up. Okay. Alright, go
Yes.
ahead. Sorry.
And
I didn't know
so
that.
things got just kind of lost in translation, and everything has been remediated at this point. So the upstairs wasn't necessarily the upstairs is what it's going to be. So that area is going to have an Dockside Days is going to have an upstairs. I believe it was, I think it was apartments before or something. And so
See, I just thought it was like an open, like, atrium, like, to with
yeah,
skylight
I don't know.
things on it. Like, I
I
didn't
might be
even think there
misspeaking,
was
but
anything up there.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, he immediately went to, I don't know, you tell me when we're going to be able to work on it. I was like, no, get back over here. Let's talk about this. Like,
Yeah, right?
let's find out. What do you mean? And he's like, well, we actually just submitted the final paperwork. As I know, the paperwork is tedious to get through this whole process, but we just submitted the
It
final
is,
paperwork today.
but I have more questions now because there is, you and I both know, there's so many businesses here that had to
Yes.
go through that. Was
Yes.
this a contractor issue? Was this a human error? Was this someone's trying to do owner stuff? We'll figure it out. I mean,
I think at
obviously,
the
but
end of
I'm
the day,
just
a lot
saying,
of the
like,
time it's just misunderstanding about what is needed. And I mean, no one's going to deliberately show up at the permit department and
no,
not turn in the proper paperwork.
what they
They don't,
think is the proper
what they think
paperwork.
is
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
right.
I mean, there probably is a slight few that are hoping they can get away with it, but I think that those have been, you think about some of the people that we met at the DAC Shack. Actually, you weren't
Yeah.
there. That, or maybe yeah, you were there, the DAC Shack the
Well,
first
that was
time.
the Mad Beach Strong thing. Yeah,
Yes,
right?
and there was
Yeah.
contractors that were coming in from all over the states that were literally throwing hundies at us, that were trying to get us to put in a good word, but had no business, unfortunately, because they did not have a contracting license in the state of Florida to be able to help us. And so they were
Well,
throwing hundies at us, and God only knows what they were taking from some of the other people. So at this point, I feel
mhm.
like we've sifted through kind of some of that, you know, negativity
Bullshit.
nonsense. And so
To be
now
honest, I would
no
have thought
one's
that
turning
most
in
of
a
the
bad word.
out-of-state contractors would have already left the area. If they
Yes.
completed the work that they already had done, they moved on to the next place that
Yeah.
unfortunately has experienced some kind of
Yeah.
disaster.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that I'm not saying that other people in other states don't do quality work. My question is,
Yes.
when they leave, and where are you when
Where
it
are
comes
you?
to any kind of warranty work or, hey,
Yeah.
this went
Agreed.
bad or whatever it is?
Yeah, they
And
don't stand
again,
they might stand behind it, but they can't fix it because they don't have the, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing was just crazy. So, I don't think anyone,
we're
so
going to dig
whatever
into that
reason
more
why.
because I don't, Nancy Drew brain doesn't believe that
Yeah.
100%. But I'm
Nancy
happy to
Drew or Nancy
hear
Grace? Which one is it?
both of them. No, I'm just kidding.
I think so. I think it's both. I
I
think it
said
is.
both
I
of
think
them.
Nancy
Yeah.
Drew became Nancy Grace is what I'm thinking. Yeah,
Really? That
maybe.
actually
No, meaning
plays.
you went
Oh,
from being a Nancy Drew to now Nancy Grace.
well, if you can be a Debbie Downer, I can be Nancy Grace. No, I was kidding.
We're taking on whatever we want. But here's the cool thing about the Dockside Daves is
Dockside
that
Dave's, I want it. We need it. And everyone asks all the time on all
all
the
the
Madeira
time.
Beach Facebook groups, where is Dockside Dave's? When is Dockside Dave's? When can we get into Dockside Dave's? I remember literally moving here, and obviously Madeira Beach is the grouper capital of the world.
Yep.
Let's just say it.
Yep.
And best grouper sandwich, 12 people, Dockside
No
Dave's.
doubt. They would always pick it. But next door to it, I don't even remember what that was. It was just like this green building that
Oh,
goes
that
toward the reef. Yeah, that's in between the reef and there.
um that
I don't
okay,
remember what it
so
was.
Dockside.
But it's going to become the green room.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's gonna be another bar right there. So there's gonna be 3 in a row, like 3 restaurants right there in a row.
So is that going to be like a hookah bar, or is that going to be a
He
real
didn't
bar?
say. I should have asked more follow-up questions, but I couldn't get him to even, he was too
It's okay
busy, and
because
I
you know where
just,
the Coastal Taco was on Gulf Boulevard there,
oh,
right across from the old Schooner Hotel. The Cava bar was right
yes.
behind that, and so that had Cava coffee,
Yes.
different libations. I think they might have had beer and wine license. I'm not 100% on that,
No,
but I was
everyone
actually
has
interested.
one in
I haven't heard
Florida.
anything about the Cava shop, and I know that that was a huge thing for us. We need to look into that. But word on the
Yeah,
beach,
we have more
bitch.
questions now.
We have a lot of questions. We have
I mean,
way
we
more
always
questions.
do.
I know. Well, now that we're vocalizing, though, we're going to have to figure that out. But while you're mentioning Dockside Dave's, one of the things in Madera that I also wanted to mention was on Facebook, which I know we always kind of poke fun of. Well, of course it's true. It's on Facebook. But
Exactly. If
I'm
it comes
happy to
from the
report
source or the horse's mouth, as they like to say.
that's right. So, per the commander of the VFW post in Johns Pass, actually there was questions that that's right, so there were questions that were asked, what is the status and when do you good people plan on being open? The commander himself actually replied to one of the comments stating that there had been a little bit of a holdup with some of the additional permitting work that needed to be completed through the city. They are good
That
to
was
go
politely
again,
said.
and they right and they and they still are projected to hopefully be open for mid-January. So I know it's going
Um,
to be a long
we are going to
holiday
have so
season
many
without
grand
it.
openings.
But here's the thing. Let's be honest, people. It's November 3rd. And granted, it has been a long year.
It
But
has been a
if
long year.
2 months, 2.5 months is what I have to wait to gamble again on Tuesday nights, forgot it. Let's
Girl, you
go.
loved that stuff. You loved
Well,
it.
you know what? Shout out to the VFW post in Johns Pass because it's a little known fact that you can actually patron there without having to be a member. The kitchen, the chef, the food, mwah, chef's
Oh, yeah,
kiss.
no, I've eaten
Cannot
there
even
plenty
tell
of
you.
times. I mean,
Well,
my roots run deep with the military, but I've
yeah,
never proven that. I mean,
Trent and I have actually had multiple Christmas dinners, Easter dinners,
nice.
New Year's dinners. I've taken my mother there. I've taken his mother there. We've had Friendsgiving there, like the
Very
lamb
cool.
chops, the espresso encrusted lamb chops with mint jelly that they have on the holidays. I hope that that gets brought back because
Yeah.
that is what I want.
Yeah.
Besides gambling. So,
Yeah. Well,
but
speaking of, just things that we've heard, one of the things
yes,
that I thought was really interesting out of the conversations with the mayor from last time we went to it was,
yep,
everyone is throwing a fit about that Kitty Park not reopening, right? And I thought that was interesting that they said that when they had originally had that donated and then opened, it fell under kind of a different time period, and because they now have to redo it, it has new, I guess,
has to be
s-
updated.
yes, it has to be updated to the standards that is allowable. And so I think that there's been a lot of negativity on Facebook about someone dropping the ball or not taking care of what's really important to the community. And it sounds like they're moving as diligently as they can, with everything else that they're managing. And uh, those permits or those, I guess, engineer reports have been, I guess, submitted. And there's a huge process that they have to go through, unfortunately, because it was so wiped out. I thought that was
Yeah, so
interesting.
Kitty Stewart Park there next to the Caddies in Madera Beach that is
Yeah.
on Gulf Boulevard with Gulf views. That park actually sat right next to the restaurant with the valet parking. But when they actually moved in as neighbors, my understanding is improvements were made on that city park, meaning also public bathrooms, handy capable ramps, the Moby mats, all the things. And what Stephanie's talking about is unfortunately we're not all allowed to be grandfathered back in. And not
Yeah.
only does that have to do with businesses and also residences, but that has to do with public parks and services
Hmm.
and basically things that are located on them. What I'm getting to is good people, the bathroom. Okay. There was bathrooms that were located on the Kitty Stewart Park. And guess what? They got destroyed.
They're just
And
totally
due to
destroyed.
current FEMA building restrictions, heights, mandates, all the things, those bathrooms now are supposed to be elevated. Can
Yeah.
you think of one bathroom on a public beach access right now that has 13 feet in the air bathrooms? I cannot.
No,
I
me
cannot.
neither.
Look at Archibald. They're going to be able to reopen. Look at Treasure Island. I don't know what's going on with their public beach access, to be honest, but we'll figure it out. They haven't torn it down. Look at, any other beach access that has bathrooms. in Reddington, the one right across from Friendly Tavern, right?
Yes. Oh,
What if
yeah.
they had to elevate those bathrooms? What are we talking about? We have to get elevator, we have to have handy-capable
Yes.
access, we have to have all these things. I mean, this changes everything,
It does, it changes
right?
everything, and I thought that was
Yeah.
super interesting to learn as I think that we're so quick to just point out all the things that aren't back that we all enjoy and without
Yeah,
realizing
I know.
exactly, just the difficulty that lies behind, and it's not I mean, every inch had to be figured out. It's not and there's only a few people doing the same job, but anyway, I thought that that was interesting to learn from that, that
Here's the thing, they're working on it. They're
yeah,
working on it. It's not something that has been forgotten. It's not something
yes,
that somebody's bypassing. It's not something that somebody maliciously has
right,
overlooked. This is literally honest problems that our city is having to deal with when it comes to following the rules
that's right.
and getting our public places back open for our locals and tourists to enjoy alike.
Yeah, and this is where it falls under that I mean, hopefully it was just a 100-year storm, right? Like, hopefully it was, but we don't it God forbid it were to happen, relatively soon. We can't have something be rebuilt and then we have to fix it again. From a
We all talk about
taxpayer
the
standpoint, I mean,
fragility.
no one wants to have to do that.
No, no. I mean, right now, we just had what? Paul D'Agato? Shout out to Paul D'Agato for calling the hurricane season early. Did you see that
Yeah, I
Facebook post?
saw that.
You're a saint. You're okay in
That's
my
a
book. You can stay. Right. Well,
well, I was thinking,
no, it is though. Did you listen to the man? The way that the fronts are and how cold the Gulf is, it's over. It's over. There's
no,
no way
I mean,
about it.
I even actually said that a couple of weeks ago. I not that I have any jurisdiction when it comes to the weather world, but I
You own
actually
a
said it
wave
won't
runner
matter at
business.
this
I
point.
trust you. I trust you more than some random Karen at Aldi's.
Well, that I said there it doesn't it actually doesn't matter at this point if we do have something that comes through. The water's just not cold and or warm enough
Okay.
for it to
Okay.
like
I was just like, why are you calling this out? Why would you say that? Sorry. Good. Get it. Got it. Never mind.
yeah,
Never mind.
yeah. So thank you, Paul.
Yes, no, it's over. Ding dong, hurricane season's gone. Bing, 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 bing. So, good people, if you're not aware, hurricane season officially usually ends at the end of November. And like I said earlier in this episode, it's November 3rd. Game over.
Game
Let's
over.
go.
Let's call it.
So,
Let's do it. Let's
I
call it.
just
What
have
do
to
we
say,
care?
we've been holding our breath. We've been holding our breath for
The
what,
whole
5 months, 4 months now?
I don't know. I mean, I
I feel
don't
like
even
that
know.
waiting to exhale movie.
Yeah.
Goodness. Okay, we had a couple more things that we wanted to talk about. I just realized that we've been very chatty today, but I kind of love it. Um,
Mhm.
NFL,
Oh,
there wasn't
no. Here it comes.
there wasn't anything really exciting to talk about. Anyway, of course there's always something exciting to talk about. I'm just a little butthurt because my Chiefs, you know what? Trisha, I know you're listening, and I just want to say good game.
Congrats. Congrats.
I literally had a Bills fan over to my house for the game yesterday. Shout
Oh,
out to
wow.
Coyote. He is a gentleman and a scholar, and that is why he is the only one allowed to come to my house for a game. So
Any game,
it
let
was,
alone.
yeah, well, it was a very gentleman's game. We put on a nice spread. I make a couple things for food and stuff like that, but a 28-21 loss. I feel like there was a couple games this weekend that came down to one score.
Well, I
One
think I
score.
think I wanted to say though that one of the things that I think I heard Mahomes say after that game was that, we have to figure this out. There were and you and I talked about this too, is that last
Yes.
year there was a lot of games they won in the end, and like that's going to eventually
Mm,
catch up to you, right? And so I
it
think that
will.
that was a little bit of what happened. I mean, everyone was on bated breath waiting for the end to happen because they know that anything is possible. But you talk about end of the games, that's what
Here's the
happened
thing.
with the yeah,
The Bills always come to play. They always come to play. They're a
yeah,
good team. I'm not going to dance around it. Josh Allen is
they are a good
amazing. And we've
team.
talked about this in episodes previously. If he hadn't have been in the same generation as Patrick Mahomes, he is the shit.
Yes,
He
yeah,
is the end all be all.
yeah,
He is
he
the Tom
is.
Brady. Let's go. At the same time, I got to give a shout out to Cook and Kincaid. They
Yeah.
did work on their team. And their four-man rush on our offensive line, it worked. The pressure, you figured it out.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's
You watched
awesome.
more tape than we did. You played a good game. And it
Yeah, that's really
always is a
good.
good game. It always comes down to blood, sweat, and tears whenever we play the Bills, especially in the Mahomes Allen era. It
Yeah.
just always is. And
Yeah,
you know
it
what
was a good
I
game.
will say? The Bungles, bye. I always feel like it comes down to Ravens, Chiefs, Bills, and Bengals.
Yeah.
And I will affectionately now call them the Bungles.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
if
mean,
they want to call it,
that was another game that was down to the wire. I mean, Caleb, the Bears quarterback, I
I
I
wanted
mean,
to bring this up because of your Bears.
yeah, I mean,
Yes.
he just like he goes from being a disaster to being a hero all within one play. It's unbelievable, and that's just I mean, he's
He's going to
young,
give you
right?
guys a heart attack. Yeah.
He's young, and
Like,
I'm having this conversation with my incredibly knowledgeable son today about how there's the NCAA and then going into the NFL, there's literally
yes.
no comparison. First of all, they play half the season of the NFL. Second of all, because
Yeah, that's right.
they're so donor focused, and because the way that the bowl games used to be set up, it was all about how many wins you got. So they would
Mm,
bake in their season to have wins, but those wins don't build character because most of the time it's like a 58-0 win. So that's not going to build any character. So the movement you have to make from going from the NCAA to the NFL is almost like like doing a totally different game. And Caleb Williams has a brand new a coach that is now new to them, and he is smart. I mean, he is a smart man. You could tell, and you can tell he runs a very strict defense and offense. And they had with a couple minutes left, the Bears had a pick six, but that became a little bit controversial because the Bengals player touched the jersey. And so the rules
mm,
dictate that that is considered a down.
yeah.
And so that the ball got brought back. And then, of course, the Bengals and Flacco do their magic. I mean, he's like 41 years old and still makes it look good. And then
You know what? I'm happy for Joe Flacco. I
I
feel
know how
like the
many teams is he
man,
going to play on this year?
I don't, you know what? I feel like
He's like
he's
the
our
NFL sub.
generation. He's our generation. And so I'm just
He
like,
is.
I want
I mean,
him to do
shit, he's
well. I
younger than
want him to
me.
do well. I feel like Alex, same thing with Alex Smith. When Patrick Mahomes was signed by the Chief and Alex Smith was still playing quarterback, there was one game where we were leading by far enough where they put Patrick in. And even everyone else was like, oh shit, Alex, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You're in goddamn trouble because this mother is good. And
Yeah.
so when you were talking about the Bears earlier, and the one thing I wanted to say was they've had the same head coach this whole year though, right?
This year, yes, but not
Okay.
yeah, Ben Johnson came from Detroit. He was their offensive
Okay.
coordinator
Okay.
last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of
But you can
Detroit, shout
tell,
out.
yeah.
That was hard. I watched that Lions game. That was hard. I have a few Detroit friends that I know that hurt, and I feel your pain.
Yeah,
So
there was some and then what's even harder is that the Commanders blowout last night, and then on top of it all, then
I was
Jaden
going to
has to
ask
get
you.
then he has to get freaking hurt. It's his
He
3rd
was
time this
back and he
year.
got hurt again?
Yeah, he dislocated his elbow or something like that. Yeah, he's probably out for the season. It's just
Oh
the
no.
injuries, and the injuries have been really bad this year, and I don't know if it's because the NFL's becoming a running game. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're the one with the ball and you're running, and you've got no less than 11 250 plus
No.
pound men
The
with pads
spin
running towards you.
moves, the
I mean,
freaking, juke freaking
yeah,
moves
I
you
mean,
have
your
to
limbs
do.
go
Like
every which way, and eventually that way is not going to
Travis
be.
Kelsey got
Oh,
bent in half
yeah.
by two different people. Did you see that hit where
Yes,
it was like
yes,
poo-poo?
yes,
Like
yes.
that's a car accident. And I
That
watched
is
the first down that he made after that. And it wasn't right after that, but after
no, he
that,
went
he kind
like
of tried to
this, like to
do,
try and
he
like
did,
get his body back
he
in
did,
motion, right?
he did. But the first down that he made
That was
after that
not the
hard
life of
pickle,
affiliate that he
he
was trying
he
to do
did
there.
yeah, he did the little thing, but I could see in his eyes, and this is like I know him, but God, he looked like he was in pain. It just
Yeah,
was
he
like a
did.
it was kind of sad. I was like,
Yeah. Well, the Swifties went crazy last game because they thought that after he got a touchdown that he was doing like the Ophelia dance because his fiance has a dance that everyone of course learns on
Beyonce.
TikTok. And so last night I was like when he like did his little move, I was like, that is not the Ophelia dance. I don't know what that is, but
He's keeping us on our toes. You talked
yes.
about one more thing before we move on from well, actually two more things since we move on from the football. The questionable call. So you talked
Hmm.
about that one in the game that we were just talking about. There
Yeah.
was a call and it wouldn't have been I can hear Trent yelling at me. It would have changed things.
Yes.
There was one thing where Patrick Mahomes was charged with, I believe, an intentional grounding, and
Yep.
it obviously was tipped. Okay, the ball went out, and it was like Captain Obvious, like boop, 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 over some defensive player's fingers, and got all wonky in the air, and wound up not landing next to anybody, and we got
Well,
called with
yeah,
that.
I don't know if it was tipped,
And
but I remember seeing that one, and
it
I
was
think it was because
tipped,
of where
honey.
it was, and it was not at the line of scrimmage or
Doesn't
something
matter.
like that.
It was
I
tipped.
know.
So
It
it
was
literally
tipped.
touched the fingers, and even
I don't even
Tony
think the
Romo
announcers
and
said that.
what's his face said, well, that's unfortunate because it basically was like nothing has been clearer than day, but because it's not a scoring um
Yeah,
play,
drive. Yeah.
there couldn't be a call from New York,
Yes.
and
They
apparently
couldn't
it
get
wasn't
reviewed.
worth either team to be reviewed, and I was just like, what the fuck? And that was a penalty to where I don't believe we were able to convert those downs going forward. And
No, you
so
didn't.
again, no excuses, play like a champion. But it was just one of those things where I'm
You
like,
can't
you know
roll
what?
your eyes when you say that. Your credibility is kind of lost when you're like, "No excuses. Play like a
No
champion."
excuses, play like a champion. But you know what? I say that and I roll those eyes as fast as I do, like windshield wipers, because I'm sick and tired of hearing people talk about, oh, pitch and moan, and all they do is this and that. I also watched Josh Allen, the Oscar goes to,
No.
okay? He
I heard you.
slid and someone tapped his helmet just to be like, you're down, tag,
She
you're
goes,
it.
people. Here she
And the
goes.
hand came off, and
Here
he
she
goes,
goes. Here
freaking
she
whip
goes,
my
people.
hair back and forth. Like, no, look it up. Look it up because I'll tell you what, Jada Smith is proud because whip your hair back and forth, Josh. We all saw that. It was a tag your it, and then it was like, I do what I
Oh no,
want.
here she goes again.
Anyway, so that'll be a reel. Anyway, so but I'm just saying, you know what? Like the
Oh
Oscar
my
goes
god.
to don't act like all these teams aren't trained to be like, oh my neck. Ah! Like, God, man,
Oh
shut up.
no.
Shut up.
Well, they learned from the NBA, right?
Oh my God, the NBA and the soccer players actually. I don't
Yes.
know the officials like Major League Soccer like anagram, but like that. Oh my God.
Yes.
I've never
Yes.
watched more dramatic European men in my life.
Or they act like their leg got just like completely dislocated, and then they get up and they're like, "I'm fine."
And then they do like a scissor kick goal. Right, exactly. Idiots. Okay, the one thing I have to say is that the ones that need to be knocked down a couple rungs, and then we'll move on from the NFL, the Colts, the Patriots, and the Broncos. Down you go. If you're in their conference
Mhm.
and you're going to play them, those are the 7-2s. Get them
Yes.
out of here. I
Yeah.
will say the Colts, Steelers, they were
I
7-1. If the Steelers hadn't handled that
Oh
yesterday,
my
they would have been
gosh.
8-1.
Yeah,
Okay?
Aaron Rodgers is just quietly doing things, but no one wants to hear about it, but he is quietly doing things.
I am present company included. I do
Yeah.
not normally root for
Well,
him,
and
but at
I've
the same
watched him,
time,
and not
I
only is
rooted for him
he
yesterday. Yeah.
I will say that not only do I think he's doing things quietly, n I'll say a couple things. One, no one
Is
really
he getting
cares.
dickier?
Yeah, and
Okay.
second
No one cares.
yeah, and second of all, he's doing it by insulting his teammates through the entire thing. If you watch his facial expressions, he's constantly constantly
Oh,
getting mad. And then if the third thing I'll say is those coaches over in Pittsburgh are a bunch of idiots
they're
because they're like
scared of him.
they're scared and they're excited
Go
at the same
Aaron.
time. It's like he's
Oh
going to
god.
retire after this year, and you will then go back to being 0-17 because
Yeah.
you have
Well,
literally no succession planning going on because you are so
oh
freaking
no.
excited about him. I mean, you just
Well, they
watch
have to
Mike
suck
Tomlin
the
during
air
the
from his ass.
interviews.
Sorry.
Yeah, you watch Mike Tomlin in the interviews, and he's just like, and
No.
you're like,
Those
dude.
those
So
Super Trooper Ray-Bans can't save you forever, so you're gonna have
they
to come up
can't.
with a plan, okay?
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
gonna have to come up with the
yeah.
plan, and we're gonna need to know the plan.
Yeah, while
Um,
you're trying to figure out a
shout
plan,
out
your boy is doing one of these on the sidelines, trying to just enjoy the last year of his life as an NFL
I
player. So
mean, can you really
whatever.
blame him? I mean, if I didn't think he was a dick to begin with, I mean, I would be like, "Do you?" But it's
Yeah.
just I haven't liked him as a person like I know him. I haven't liked him as a person in a
No,
long time.
he
So,
he doesn't
good luck
help
to him.
himself. He doesn't help
No.
himself during the interviews. He's awful.
I don't think he cares. And
I
you
don't
know
think he
what?
does either. And
I'm
he probably
jealous.
doesn't care what
I'm
I think
actually
about either.
jealous that
So
he
what
could just
difference?
not care.
That's true.
Exactly. I'm
That's
like,
true.
teach me how to turn that off because
Yeah.
believe it or not, we do care. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Give
All
me one of
right,
those Aaron
football.
Rodgers cards.
Thanks for nothing. Just kidding.
Hmm.
There's a couple city events that we would be amiss to not mention. We're coming up in an hour, so we'll try to keep this short for you, lovely listeners. But two things. One, we actually have the Conversations with the Mayor, lovely event that we always try to attend. It's going to be really close to home, of course.
Yep.
Bamboo Beach Bar.
12
So shout out to
p.m.
the Bamboo Beach Bar. The Conversations with the Mayor at November 20th from 12 to 1. And believe it or not, people, not only do they have music, live music, two different sets every day, 7 days a week, their menu, mwah, good, good stuff. Okay. I
Yeah,
actually
I
trust.
actually don't even know how I didn't know about this. I didn't even know they serve food until, which is so, I'm so embarrassed to admit that, but I'm going to admit it out loud because I'm going to say that that was one of the best burgers during Burger Week that Michael and I had. And yeah,
I feel like a
that's
lot of
awesome.
people, I feel like a
I'm
lot of people,
sorry.
even locals, that might be a go to watering hole
Yeah,
for a lot
sorry,
of people,
Sean.
but a
I didn't
lot of
even
people
know that.
don't.
Sean is so supportive of everything. But
Shout out to
yeah,
Sean, one of the manager at the
yeah,
Bamboo Beach Bar.
yeah,
He's amazing, so I know
yeah,
he
he's
always takes good
awesome.
care of us. I heard that their annual Halloween costume contest was amazing, and the
I
only
was
thing
going
I
to
want to
ask if
say is
you
that
went to it.
unfortunately, of course not. I was busy partying with you.
I know.
Just kidding. Well, some of us went home and it was say goodnight, Kaylin. So I did not get out for the
Some of
annual
us
Halloween
needed to go
costume.
tonight, Stephanie, but yeah, no, I sat myself in
Well,
an
you had
Adirondack chair.
children, didn't
Yeah,
Kate? Yeah. So I did not go, but I will say this shout out to the Bamboo Beach Bar because it is a local's favorite. It's a trusty and tried and true. I know it's been around for multiple generations. So
multiple
a lot of people come
generations.
back to our area looking for the Bamboo Beach Bar, one of the originals, right?
The
But I will
dancing is
say this they've,
fantastic, and the people watching
yeah,
is even better.
last year, now that we're officially on the other side of hurricane season this time,
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
I will say last year at Halloween, that was the very first time that a bunch of
Mhm.
us were able to get together after Helene in late
Yeah,
September in Milton on October 10th. Uh, Halloween last year was the first time that a lot of us were able to get together, and it was at the Bamboo Beach Bar. And it was not their normal annual Halloween contest, but we were so thankful that they
yeah.
were able to put it together. So
I remember when you
it's a
went
full
to that, I was
circle.
so excited for you that you
Yeah.
had gotten out.
It's it's a full circle moment, and
It is.
look at us now. So because we've done a
Look
lot.
at Caitlin a
So
year later, she went to bed.
no, not me. I meant the area. Damn it. We're not doing the Snoop Dogg thing forever. Okay. So, lovely people. The last thing I want to mention is that not only do we have the Conversations with the Mayor on November 20th, there is also going to be a, actually, I think that's it.
That's
I
it.
am so sorry.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, I think
That's all
that's
I have
it.
to talk
Yeah.
about this because you know what? There's so many things that are going to be popping up in November and December going
Yeah,
into the
we talked
holiday
about the King of the
season.
Beach last week, but that was the other thing that you had thought of as the King of the Beach
Yeah, that's
will be.
right.
Yeah. That's
I
what
was
you
going
were
to say
thinking
King
about.
of the Beach. The fall edition is making its return to Madera Beach. It had to move inland last year due to the hurricanes, which we were just talking about. But this Thursday, Captain's Party, November 6th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 7th, 8th, and 9th. I believe the final weigh-in will be on the 9th. But if you have any questions, please go to oldsaltfishing.org, I believe is the website, or you can always go to the city of Madera Beach and they'll provide the link.
Exactly. That's exciting for that to return.
All right, guys. Well, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. We do have full episodes every Tuesday that get released for you lovely people on YouTube and Spotify. And please feel free to share us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We noticed that a lot of followers have been quietly creeping, and we would like the official follow, but whatever you're comfortable with. So,
yep, that's right. So, with
right,
that
guys.
said, stay salty and sip often.
Bye.